I love nights. The serenity, calmness, stillness, the mystery, and even potential danger behind every corner. Simply the best. I used to go for midnight runs whenever I had a really bad day. Running through the darkness with nothing but music accompanying me was a way to stop negative thoughts and focus on what's important, the dimly lit road ahead. It was a very special feeling for me that I couldn't really get from anything else. Until now, because a video game, of all the things, has managed to recreate it. Skatestory is not about skating. It's not much of a story either, but it's definitely a surreal experience that perfectly captures what it feels like to just zoom through the night toward an inevitable collapse. You play as a skater that made an unfortunate deal with the devil and now has to eat all of the moons in the underworld by skating or something like that. They're also made out of glass, so every fall ends in a spectacular shattering of your entire fragile body, which is pretty sick. But despite how it looks, the punishment for failure is pretty low, putting you back on track in an instant, ready to fracture all over again. And I'm not really a skater myself, but I genuinely enjoyed the way game handles controls. Even with all the surrounding absurdity, it feels real, tactile. You're taught different tricks, shown how they're actually performed, and then tasked with executing them yourself. Needless to say, they are trivial to do in-game, but it was nice to finally link the names of those moves to actual physics behind them. But the main draw of the game is undoubtedly its style, its vibes, and the feeling it evokes as you bust out sick moves on the board with some of the best soundtrack playing in the background. It's just unmatched. But the game is not without issues though, and the biggest one for me is that despite all of the polish, it feels very rushed, especially towards the end. It's mostly noticeable through bugs, but I'm not talking about some occasional weird interactions or glitches with physics. Those are rare. Instead, it's more of edge case scenarios. Like in one of the sequences near the end, our skater starts Shinji posing, and his soul leaves his body. Spoiler alert, by the way. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do here, so I tried climbing the chair to re-enter the body. That didn't work. I tried skating, incorporeal, also didn't work. So I thought I had no choice but to just go forward, and so I went. Nothing. Okay, maybe I have to go into the water. Nope. For the lack of a better idea, I just kept going. And while that is happening, let me tell you about one of the features of this game. At any moment of your skating career, you may choose to disassociate and enter your safe place dream hub thing. Here you can skate in peace, practice your tricks, or choose to travel to a different location from previous chapters. I don't know, maybe you didn't buy out everything from the gift shop there or something. So when I inevitably fell off the edge of the level, ejecting into the dream was my only option. I then tried to find a way to go back to the level I was on, only to discover that I couldn't. Typically, there is an object that you can interact with that takes you to the main location of a given chapter, and there just wasn't anything like that for the very last one. Possibly because it's a weird, special kind of chapter that isn't meant to be revisited for story reasons. But regardless, I was stuck. And yeah, there is a giant sinkhole right in the center of the dream place that takes you to your last visited location. But since I'm an idiot who forgot about it and instead already visited a bunch of other places, my last visited location was one of them. So not where I need to go. I basically hardlocked myself, and while the blame is on me, I don't think it should be possible to do that kind of thing. Why would the sinkhole teleport you to the last traveled location instead of the last story segment, especially when there are sequences that would be otherwise inaccessible? Thanks to another softlock scenario, I actually made a backup of my save file not too long before that happened, so I didn't lose too much progress, but still not pleasant when something like this happens. Another, arguably even more offensive example is the epilogue. It's not gonna make much sense without context, but just try to imagine that despite how it looks when we skate here Bloodborne style, this scene is an emotional climax. It's the closest thing to a sequel that we'll ever get after all. But regardless, it's an important scene. You're rolling downhill towards a single train car with your friends in it. It's a reunion after God knows how long. They were searching for you for an eternity, and then this happens. Literally the very last scene in the game, and it's just broken. I replayed it multiple times and I still don't know what was the idea here. Like, what was supposed to happen? Even if you get up on the platform, which you can only do by rolling down from the other side, you still can't interact with anything, so why is it there? From the distance, the mirror looked like the thing that you're meant to approach, so players will try to do that, and then they'll see this disaster. You trigger the credits by actually entering the train car, but if that's all there is to do, why make a platform with enticing things on it to begin with? But if it is part of your vision, and it has to be there, maybe take control away from the player before they discover how unfinished this part is? I don't know, do a scripted cutscene, or heck, just fade to black as we approach. Anything, but not that. It's just so anticlimactic. But the ending is not done screwing you over. Once you finish the game, there's no way back. No chapter select, no free roam, which would be fitting for a skate game with awesome music. I would love to be able to just revisit some of the areas for fun, but no. The only option is to start the game over from the very beginning, which resets all the progress you've made. All the boards and stickers you've collected, and all of the stats, including those that count towards some of the grindy achievements, like this one. 10,000 tricks is a lot. I knew about this trophy before I began playing, so I was doing tricks whenever I could, and still, after getting to the last chapter, I had to spend close to an hour just doing tricks non-stop. If you don't, and you finish the game, say bye-bye to your progress. You gotta start over from zero. Even if that would make sense narratively, that's crazy and honestly shows lack of respect for people's time. I sincerely hope that Sam Eng will address those issues and will update the game in the near future. As well, I got pretty negative towards the end there. Skatestory is a phenomenal game that would be one of the best titles from this year if those problems got fixed. And it's been quite a strong year for games. Well, thanks for watching.